This is the Velo Orange Neutrino, a charming mini bike which fills a niche nobody was asking to be filled, and I love it. Velo Orange is a small brand based in Minneapolis which is well known for making really interesting and very fun bikes. And this is not the first bike from the brand which I've reviewed. A couple of years ago I played on the Pass Hunter, which is a lovely kind of do-it-all steel, all-road-ish bike, and it was a total hoot, and not without its quirks, and all the better for it. And if quirks are your thing, come on, you don't get more quirky than this. Mini-velos have been around forever, and this particular design is based on a Jack Taylor from the 1960s. The key thing that differentiates a mini-velo from a folding bike is, well, one, it doesn't fold, but two, they tend to have less compromised handling overall, while still maintaining a much smaller package than a normal bike. And that's partly the thinking with this bike. This bike, as it was shipped to me, unlike being in a normal bike box, came in essentially a suitcase. And though it's not nearly as easy as something like a Brompton, it does fold down into a much more compact package. So as a travel bike, it's a genuinely quite compelling option. But for trendy urbanites like me who wear funny t-shirts and stupid neckerchiefs, the small size is also very helpful if you do not have a massive, massive house. But that's not the main thing it's good for in an urban setting. For me, this bike, despite what may look like a compromised frame, is probably the most practical bike I own. Now there's loads of versatility built into this frame. I'm going to go through all the design features very shortly. But as a kind of concept, a small wheeled bike makes a lot of sense. Now you'll note on the front I've added a very trendy, heavy-duty basket on the front. This particular basket is designed to take fairly heavy loads, and with that low centre of gravity, thanks to the chunky 20-inch wheels, you can carry quite a lot of weight on this bike without the handling feeling too crazy. You will note as well that the bike also has mounts for anything cages. You could fit front pannier racks on there, it's replete with fittings for mudguards, the whole lot. This bike is like a flute. It has so many holes in it. Sorry for the continuity error, we're filming outside, I got cold, deal with it. Anyway, sticking with the front end, we have this gooseneck stem from Velo Orange, and there's no need for you to tell me what it makes you think of in the comments. This stem brings the front end up considerably. You know, it's a really good way on any bike if you want to have a ludicrously high front end, but on this bike, with its small frame, it's absolutely vital. But it does give you, even with my lanky long legs, a lovely even position between the saddle and the cockpit. It's a really comfortable ride. The reach feels actually quite normal, and with those lovely swept back bars, you get a lot of control and no kind of strain on your wrists, even when you're riding with a heavy load. Now the frame itself, because it is so compact, also feels fairly stiff even when you're carrying a heavy load. It's not noodly at all, but even when it's unloaded, it's actually fairly comfortable despite those smaller wheels. Again, on the down tube, we've got a little triple boss there, so you could fit in anything cage, and there's also a water bottle boss on the seat tube. At the back of the bike, again, we have full provision to fit mudguards as well as racks, and we also have sliding dropouts, and that's really cool on this bike. For one, that means you can fit just a normal derailleur drivetrain as we've seen here, or you can fit an internal gear hub. You could ride this fixed if you're absolutely mental, or you could go for a super simple single-speed drivetrain. Though it doesn't look it, versatility is at the core of this bike, and it's one of the reasons I really love it. Now all of this adds up to make a bike that can be pretty much what you want it to be. It's based around fairly unfussy standards. You know, it's a regular 100mm and then 135mm hub at the rear. It uses quick releases, it's a standard 31/9 seat post, a 1 1/8 inch head tube. You know, realistically, with perhaps the exception of the wheels because nobody has 20-inch disc wheels, you could realistically build this bike up out of spare box parts. And that's what I kind of love about it. All of Velo Orange's bikes are based on totally unfussy standards, and they just lend themselves well to kind of tinkering and playing about. But really though, who's going to go out and buy a Minivelo as their only bike? Probably not me, but it's just so much fun to ride. Those small wheels just feel so nimble, and they're really fun on even rough roads. They don't go so well over big bumps, but you know, on chattery roads, those big fat BMX tires, they really cushion the ride overall. The handling is totally unique. It's kind of stable in a weird way, but also terrifyingly twitchy. It's the only bike I've ever ridden which kind of self-corrects so much when you're riding no hands that it's almost unnerving. And that makes it, again, just loads of fun. It's a totally different riding experience. Of course, that's not going to be for everyone, but if you're looking for something that's, you know, practical and fun for riding in town, or really if you do want something that will pack up, you can take away, you can take on holiday easily, like this genuinely could be a really good option. There is one thing that's very hard to get away from, and that is the cost. This is not a cheap frame set. It's $750 for the frame set. That's a lot of cash, which is inevitably not going to be your one bike. The complete builds as well, which this is pretty much as the complete build comes, is $2,400, which again, that's a lot of money for, you know, a second or third or fourth bike. The Velo Orange is a small company. They can't buy in the bulk that large brands can, so it's inevitable you're going to pay a little bit of a price. I've had this bike for quite a few months now, and as is obviously clear, I love it. It is so much fun. It's practical in a kind of quirky way, and these left field ideas really deserve to be celebrated in cycling. In a world of go fast, emotionless carbon, stuff like this really stands out, and it brings me joy to ride and talk about it. Fun aside, it is a genuinely practical bike, and if you're looking for something which is going to slot into a small place in your house and in your heart, this could be it. Let me know in the comments, if you had the Neutrino, how would you build it? How would you use it? Did you hate my neckerchief? Did my t-shirt offend you? Are you as upset about this rain as I am? As always, do not forget to like and subscribe, and click that little bell icon, so every time we upload a video like this, you will get a notification.